1 Corinthians chapter 9. I'm going to teach you how to be a Super Bowl Christian. Verse 24 through verse 27. Do you not know, this is St. Paul talking to us, that in a race, all the runners run their very best to win. Common sense, okay? But only one receives the prize. Makes sense also, you know? Fifth place doesn't get anything. Run your race in such a way that you may seize the prize and make it yours. Now, every athlete who goes into training and competes in the games is disciplined and exercises self-control in all things. They do it to win a crown in the world, but their crown withers. We all know everything in this world will rot away. But we do it to receive an imperishable crown that cannot wither. The very fact that you came here today, you're building a crown. And when you get to the kingdom of God, you're gonna see it. It's a crown that does not wither. Nothing withers in heaven. Therefore, I do not run without a definite goal. I do not flail or jump around, okay, like one beating in the air. Shadow boxing. But like a boxer, I strictly discipline my body. Like a boxer, us, we discipline our body and make it a slave so that after I preach the gospel to others, I myself will not somehow be disqualified as unfit to the service. Upon us tonight is what every football player in the NFL works for, called this Super Bowl. Large men, for the most part, will line up across what we call a line of scrimmage, and a quarterback will shout some words, and leather and helmets and bodies will collide on the snap of a pigskin ball. The game begins. For 4 15-minute quarters, or an hour, men will use enormous energy and effort to move this funny-shaped leather or pigskin ball, as we call it, up and down a field that consists of 100 yards long and I think 50 yards wide. Millions will tune in. Millions. Some will shout. Now I want you to remember that when you shout tonight, make sure it's not a louder shout you give them than you gave God today. Just throw that in. Jesus, help me. Some will cry. Some will get happy. You know, all depends on if you really even care who's playing tonight. One thing's for sure, most of us will be eating more than shouting. Well, a couple of years back, I gave you the consumption and the numbers of potato chips that are consumed and wings and all of that. It really, talking about it, got me full. So I want to move on. But all to answer one question. They gather all to answer this question. Who will win? There is a way to answer that question. Who will walk away with a win? For us, the same question is presented. What will it take for us to win or to be the Super Bowl Christian that God wants us to be? So who will be the team that will win? Well, here it is. It will be the team that exhibits 5 traits that I'm going to give you. Number 1, it's the team that has the greatest desire. Number 2, the team that has the most discipline. Number 3, the team that's most committed. Number 4, the team that's willing to sacrifice. And number 5, the team that possesses the greatest character. Football, many played the game, but only few, if you compare who's there tonight, it's a few compared to how many players there are in the NFL. The rest will be what we call on the sideline, in their couch, family room, wherever they may be, watching the game. Only 2 teams made it, whatever that's equivalent to in bodies and people. 2 teams will be there. But all the rest will be somewhere watching the game or on the sidelines, church. See, in Christianity, some will rise to be champions, and others will have no desire but just to watch, sit back. Sometimes that happens. Vince Lombardi, the great and former coach of the Green Bay Packers and winner of the first Super Bowl, said this: winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-time thing. He says you don't win once in a while, okay? It should become a habit. Unfortunately, some Christians make losing a habit, when God never created us to be lose, but he created us to win. What just may separate us from winning and barely getting by may be these traits. So hopefully we can install these traits into our lives, and we know that we are winners. Let's look at them. Desire. Desire is to want something, okay, so bad, and I'm putting it this way, as we hear, you could taste it. It means really to crave. For a Super Bowl Christian, there is no greater desire than to be in a close relationship with the Son of God. The highest desire that can possess a heart is a longing for God. Such a desire for God should compel us and propel us to run this race that we're running. The race we're running is not a sprint, church. This is a marathon we're running here. Don't get comfortable on the sidelines, church. Don't get comfortable there. Not a place where God created you to be. Faith without works is dead. We have to exercise our faith. The Christian race is not a competitive event to see who comes in first, but it's an event of endurance to see who finishes faithfully. Come on, church. Once again, another quote from Vince Lombardi. He said this: the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength or knowledge, but it's a lack of will. Let's face it. You get up in the morning, and if you want to be here, you'll be here. You get up in the morning, if you want to go to work, you're going to work. You know? So it's our will that should propel us. The Apostle Paul was, I call him the Bart Starr and the Vince Lombardi of early Christianity. He was the coach and the quarterback. Why do I say that? See, alone, desire is not enough. Desire only takes the shape when it's accompanied by discipline. Number two, let's get into discipline. You see? Discipline. It's the fuel of success. You may be it may be the prettiest car in the showroom, but if you don't put any fuel in it, where's it going? Got to have discipline. It's got to have fuel. Because without gas, you're going nowhere, church. Hello? Without fuel, spiritual fuel. You don't grow without discipline. To attempt to live the Christian life without spiritual discipline would be like putting Don Knotts in the ring with Mike Tyson. It's crazy. Just picture that for a minute. You can't make it to the Super Bowl without training. Tom Landry, good Christian coach of the Dallas Cowboys, he said the job of a football coach is to make men do what they don't want to do in order to achieve what they always wanted to be. Most of us want to win, but most of us don't want to train. Discipline pushes you to become the Super Bowl Christian, church. There's a difference between, listen to this, a disciple and a believer. That's a difference. There's no such thing as an instant disciple, but there is such a thing as an instant believer the moment they come to Christ. But discipleship needs discipling. It's all part of the process, all part of growing, all part of maturing in the things of God. Because disciples are made. They're not born. Number three. The third trait is commitment. I couldn't wait to get to this one. Commitment will determine whether or not you view Christianity as a recreational sport or a serious competition. In other words, well, why would I consider it that? Why would I consider it, that kind of sport or something like that? Okay? Because sometimes it's like anything. Maybe you like tennis. You play it once in a while. Same thing with, serving the Lord. You don't serve the Lord once in a while. Not something you visit. It's a lifestyle, church. Unfortunately, commitment has died with the former generations, I think, in today's times, But yet, if we're going to be Super Bowl Christians, we need to be committed. All life activities have their ups and downs, and only those who are committed to riding out the crest will be victorious, church, and succeed. One more from Vince Lombardi. He said this: the quality of a person's life is a direct proportion to their commitment and to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. Let that sink in. Number 4, sacrifice. We must be willing to sacrifice. What does this mean? It means to give up something for a specific purpose. Church, the dance team doesn't just come out here and dance. When they're going to do a routine, there's practices. They're here nights and days that you don't know about. The worship team, the musicians and all of that, they practice that. The children's church teachers, they study and all of that. You see? Ministry is a sacrifice. It's not convenient at all. And if you don't step up to that, say, well, I can't do it then. I can't do it here. I can't do it. Well, then that ministry is not for you. Because sometimes it comes to your table. Do you know how many times I had to take a phone call in between eating? You know what I mean? What do I say? Well, I'm eating my burger. First of all, I wouldn't even enjoy the burger if I said that. No, it's a sacrifice, church. It's a sacrifice. There's a burden of sacrifice, but there's also beauty behind it. Success has a price. Always, church, we must continue to press because everybody wants to cross the goal line. All right, number 5, let me run with this. Character. Someone once said, this is not mine, sow an act, reap a habit. Sow a habit, you'll reap a character. Sow a character, you reap a destiny. Character for Christians can only be defined as Christ-like. The Apostle Paul acknowledged that. He did not arrive, but he was moving in the right direction. Each day he drew closer because he had a desire, he had a discipline, he was committed, willing to sacrifice, and now he was developing a godly character. Character is who you are. It's not what you've been through. It's really who you are. Crisis does not necessarily make character, but it certainly will reveal your character. Hello. Come on, church. It's how we deal with the crisis that will speak of our character. Now listen to this, church. You cannot rise above the limitations of your character. You'll never go above that, church. I have seen highly talented people fall apart before they reach that level of success. Because success without a good foundation of character is bound for failure. Character, listen to me, church, and integrity is 2 very important words that Christians should live by. Christians must live by. These are 5 simple traits that can help you become a Super Bowl Christian. Every born-again believer has a godly ability abiding in him and in the person of the Holy Spirit to release the power of God and to be a Super Bowl Christian, as we're calling it this morning, church. Be faithful. Come out Wednesday night. Be faithful. Come out next week. Support those that are sharing. Support the house of the Lord. More importantly, grow and mature in the things of God. And be fruitful for the kingdom of God. Tell somebody about the love of God. And until I see you, you remember, you're blessed, highly favored, and greatly loved. Go in peace. God bless.